It's a career, it is my life, and it's what I've dedicated myself to.
Well, that's an interesting story. We're both students at Traverse City Central High School. Ida was a A-plus student. I was probably, I would say at the very best, probably a C student. So we didn't circulate in the same groups. She studied too much to be interested in cars and boys. I was interested in cars and girls. But we actually started dating a little bit after we both graduated from high school. And more down at Higas' service station. I'll let you tell the rest.
When we speak of Higas' service station, it's now the flower shop down on Front and Wadsworth, kitty corner from the North Peak. We had a mutual friend that was a night clerk at that gas station, and he had a lot of guys hanging around with him, and so when there's guys, there's bound to be girls someplace. And oddly enough, we had to go there just about every night. My girlfriend and some of the rest of us, we'd have to go there to get a gallon or two of gas. You know, it was the only place in town that had gas.
At night.
At night,
yeah.
And so, as it is, one of his good friends got him to ask me to go to date with him, and we dated and went all the way over to Elk Rapids, where we had a movie that night. And oddly enough, that theater is still there too. So that's where it all kind of started, and then he took off for the Air Force in March of 1951, and then it was later on, he'd come home for vacation once in a while, and that year he presented me with an engagement ring, and we were married on the 12th of December, 1951.
I was an employee of the city of Traverse City, from 1965 to when I retired in 1989. And first I worked in the city assessor's office, and then in 1976 I became city clerk, and I was city clerk for over 13 years till I decided I'd like to run for the city commission, knowing that if I got elected, then I, of course, have to be retired. I can't be an employee and an elected official in the city, too. So I ran for city commission in 1989 and got elected at that time, and then I was reelected 2 more times, each 4-year terms. And during that 12 years on the city commission, for 3 years I served as mayor of Traverse City.
Well, while he worked, of course, for the city, I worked for the school. I had 44 years of that when I left. And in fact, I even got a building named after me. The old Central Administration Building was the old Boardman School.
She's neglected to mention that when she retired, of course, she ran for the school board, the next year? And
6 months after I retired, I was drafted.
Show how people appreciated her. She got more votes than anybody had ever gotten for that office of school board.
We had a local editor here, Mike Reddy. He dubbed us Mr. and Mrs. Traverse City, and we've kind of been known since that. He's become Mr. Mayor, but there's still quite a few people that call him Mr. Mayor, but they had us combined in the same editorial, put us in the same kettle, I guess.
Well, you like to think maybe someday, and I'm not sure it's going to happen now, that, well, like, for instance, during World War II, I was old enough, I was almost 9 on Pearl Harbor Day, and the thing that sticks with you is the unity of the people in the country. I don't remember there being all the people that, you know, they kind of hate the country and we're doing everything wrong in the world and shame on us. And you look at some of these photographs of, we'll say, a neighborhood, say in Detroit or a big city when they were nice cities, and they'll show like down a block of town, or not townhouses, but whatever they were in those days. Every house had a flag out. I mean, it just, as far as you could see in this picture, there would be a United States flag out on the porch. People just don't do it anymore, where you have so many other outlets and things to think about. So you kind of think and dream that maybe some ways the country could be like that again. I don't think in our technological age that'll ever happen, but everything you read, people are becoming more kind of withdrawn into their own groups, and there just isn't that feeling like there used to be.
And then I guess what bothers me is we see in the kids today, and not just the kids, but the grown-ups, of how they're trying to rewrite history and all that. And, you know, it really, they just don't understand.
Well, I think a lot of that's due to lack of teaching of those things in the schools. When I was in school, Ida was in school, probably most of us here. I mean, American history was a big part of our education. I don't know, at least the way you hear things discussed nowadays, that a lot of the school teachings don't really include much. They talk more about all the terrible things this country's done. A lot of people don't seem to realize that what a stabilizing force the United States is in the world.
The United States was, or America became the melting pot, you know, the melting pot, and we keep getting away from that. And I think that we're all Americans. We're not necessarily American hyphenated with all the other countries that immigrants come from. And, you know, the sooner that we all live together and look at ourselves as Americans, the better it's going to be.
We appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Hope we haven't been too boring, or at least me. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the program and the good food. I know we are. So,
and we'd like to say God bless America.
God bless the United States of America.